In this video, I'm gonna share with you a simple way that you can decrease the amount of anxiety that you feel on a daily basis. It's super, super simple. And it's so funny, if you look on the TV and the media, you think that our world is just totally a mess and like everything's falling apart, which in a certain sense it kind of is. But if you go outside to nature, like nature is thriving. And I was walking in the park yesterday and I had this idea for this video today because I know what it's like having a lot of anxiety and worrying about things, whether it's your career or money or people in your life, or just a lot of us get caught in this cycle of worry. And technology and the media, social media, all these things, I think make it even harder for us to have a good mindset. And the media will talk about this World War III and Iran and all these different things that are happening right now in the world, all that's playing out. And I got news for you. The war that's happening is a war for your mind. It's a spiritual war. It's been happening for decades. And we're just now, people are just now waking up to the fact that there's been a psychological war happening on Americans especially, but across the whole world for many decades. It's nothing new. So how can we, living in this planet right now, it's very difficult with all that's happening, all the chaos. How can we decrease our stress and anxiety? All right, that's today's topic. And I recently have gone through a slight career change in my life. I've been in sales for a while, and I got into just these past 2 weeks. I'm now working in high ticket sales. And this week I had to do kind of like a final test, slash role play test to just kind of show my ability. Before you can kind of usually do live calls, you have to just make sure you're good enough, because I don't have all the crazy stats yet in this arena of sales, which I'm gonna have pretty soon. But anyway, I was a little bit stressed this past week, doing a lot of studying, a lot of learning, making sure I have my structure, and I basically just do calls with people on Zoom all day long. But I follow a structure to it. But my whole point is I had this test yesterday where I had to give this role play to my director. And I kind of caught myself this week just worrying about it and being a little bit nervous and kind of being in my head about it. And then I remember this simple trick that you can use yourself for anything in life. And all I did was I just caught myself making this role play, this meeting super important. And whenever we make something in our life super important and we place so much focus on it, that's when the anxiety goes up. So a simple hack you can do when you feel yourself getting anxious, because part of this too is that there's so much anxiety on the planet right now. So many humans are scared and uncertain, and people are just lost in the sauce right now, right? So it's a lot of us can pick up on that. So you might not even know why you're anxious, but you might be feeling anxious, or you might be feeling kind of worrisome because of people around you. Maybe even just if you're in an apartment, the energy in an apartment, or even in a house, people that are close to you, proximity to you, you can often kind of take on their emotions. So that's a little side tangent, be aware of that. But all you have to do to reduce your anxiety is just to drop the importance that you give certain events in life. And this is what I did yesterday. I just dropped the importance of this meeting and I absolutely crushed it. I just totally crushed the role play. I did really well. And I look back on my life and there's been times where when I make something really important, as I approach the event or as I approach whatever is going to be happening, if I make it important the whole time and then I'm there doing it and it's very important in my head, that's when I've seen I mess up or I just make mistakes because I'm in my head and I'm making it on a pedestal. I'm putting it up here this is so important, it has to be just right. And you try to be perfect, try to be make note, you try to be almost too perfect and too you're overthinking it essentially. So this is in a book that I read called Reality Transurfing by a man named Vadim Zeland. There is, I believe there's an audiobook of this full thing on YouTube, but it's a great book, and a lot of this book talks about just dropping importance when it comes to everything, going on a date with somebody, taking a test, right, job interview, all these things in life that cause us stress and anxiety and worry. Just understand, if we were to zoom out, big picture of our life, right? We're on this planet, we're on this little pebble spinning around in space, going through space. It's not really that big of a deal. But a lot of us from our families and our upbringings, we get very anxious because we take things so seriously and we don't really have the mental awareness to kind of zoom out, drop the importance, have more fun, and just kind of trust that like it's not make or break. It's almost also good to have like kind of in mind like what's your fallback plan, or what's like, what is actually a realistic possibility. Because a lot of times our mind will go to the worst case scenario, and that rarely ever happens. So if you drop the importance on things in your life, watch how life will just flow easier. And leave me a comment down below if this helped you. If you want any more tips about this, kind of just ways to not be so anxious, so you can be more in that flow state and you can just effortlessly hit your goals in life. All right, follow me to see more. Have a good one. Take care.